This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. So, I've never played an actual JCM800. I'm told they're quite loud things. That's one of the things I've heard about them. Anyway, this is the amp that was, I think, sort of the basic circuit that people like Soldano, PV with the 5150, and then, you know, the Soldano Slow was actually then sort of copied for the dual rectifier with Mesa Boogie. I think the JCM800 circuit was quite important for that. If you've ever thought to yourself, I'm a huge JCM800 fan, yet the one in the Helix, it doesn't sound like my JCM800 or whatever, there are valid reasons in this case. So you can see in a couple of places that folks from Line 6 have said that their example of a JCM800 actually was missing bright caps. Now, that could make a huge difference to the way that the amp kind of responds and stuff. One of the things that Line 6 do is base their emulations. A lot of them, if they're basing them on real amps, they are based on a real amp. So they take the amp apart, look at it, and take the measurements, and then build the tone from there. I think that's how it works anyway. But they're not just building from schematics. So this particular JCM800 example they had was not necessarily a textbook example, and this is the case for a few of their Marshalls actually. So if you're wondering, you know, this isn't doing exactly what I'd expect, I guess maybe if it doesn't have the bright caps, it's going to have a little bit less sizzle and stuff, which may not be a terrible thing anyway, who knows. But so I dialed in this preset. To have kind of three aspects going on. So this snapshot is clean, this is rhythm, and this is lead. So you heard it in the intro there, but big kind of chunky. So let's just break this preset down. Gumroad is the place to grab all of my presets if you want to try them, but I'd like to break it down just in case you don't want to support in that way as well. So first of all, we've got a noise gate here which is turned on with the two heavier presets. heavier snapshot, sorry. I've got a Scream 808 at the start. This is a little bit of a cliche at this point, although I do have it actually giving some gain, but you know, the Scream 808 helps to bring out the mids in more mid-scooped amps, as well as tighten up the low end a little bit because of the EQ on that. As you see, 5.2 gain, 6.5 tone, 6.7 level. Then, so for the clean tone, I've got the drive at 0.7, bass at 3.4, mids at 5, treble at 7, presence at 7. Those are quite high, and I think that might be partly to mitigate the fact that it doesn't have bright caps. Channel volume at 9.3, master at 10, which would be, I don't know, would that be quiet in real life? Possibly, right? You've got the master volume up full, which you wouldn't actually have a master volume on these amps anyway, but the drive very, very low, essentially. I don't know what that would be like in real life. Then we are going into a 4x12 greenback with a 30 dynamic mic, position 4.6, 1 inch away, high cut off for the cleans, and then into a Cali V30. So this was to sort of get the best of both worlds, where the V30 is a bit more of that maybe modern tone, a bit thicker or something. 47 condenser, position 4.9, high cut again off. Then I've got a dual delay with my normal kind of settings, 375, 500, 71, 62, 24, 25, and the modulation off. Turn the trails back on. Okay, and then at the end we've got the glitz reverb, 6 decay, 1 millisecond, low cut off, high cut 15.5, mix 15, etc, etc, and again turn that on. So it's a relatively simple preset. Then for our rhythm tone, we're taking the drive up to 8, the mids at 5, channel volume at 7.5. I brought the master down a little bit to kind of tighten up a bit. See, what happens beyond there is that it got a lot more sizzle in the top end. Anyway, experiment with that to dial it into your taste. Still no high cuts for the rhythm tone. And then for our lead tone, drive goes up to 9. The mids go up to 6.4, channel volume comes down to 7.5, and the master stays at 6.9 for that, okay? So that's basically what's going on with that. Relatively simple. In particular, I was a bit surprised by those clean tones. I wasn't necessarily expecting those. I'll put it onto snapshot 1 by default, but yeah, that's... really fun one to play, I think. So, you know, if you are looking for something JCM 800-ish, it may not be totally spot on or anything, but I find that really, really fun to play, and does plenty of kind of chunky, barky, martially things. So might be one to look at, especially if you're into kind of the more 80s metal type stuff. Oh, for the lead tone as well, I'm bringing the high cut down to 4.3 and 3.8 on the cabs. That's an important part to kind of smooth things out, as I like to do. I'll catch you in another video soon. Please feel free to subscribe, and Gumroad is the place to grab my presets now, and I hope you get some use out of that. Cheers for now.